Get that intruder away from me. He doesn't belong here. My sibling complained about the $15,500 event tent I'd contributed to, then saw his whole ceremony fall apart. I reacted by stopping all arrangements and ending the gathering. My sibling stared at me, declaring, "We've all agreed you're out of the bridal group," as he passed me a cheap disposable dish beyond the tent. His tone was icy, decisive, like he thought he was doing me a favor by being straightforward. Then the true shock arrived. His fresh in-law, someone I'd hardly encountered, laughed and remarked, "Real relatives eat inside." I gazed at the dish, fragile and shaking in my hold as if it felt my rejection. Within the large, pale tent, chuckles echoed, fairy lights shone, and I could imagine the stylish setup. The scent of seasoned grilled poultry drifted from the food station, cups tingled, but I was blocked from joining, not even permitted to dine. My name was missing from the placement guide, not at the main spot, not among the kin, nowhere. I remained there, bobbing my head like a fool. I'd assisted in covering that tent, paid the food down payment half a year prior, advanced my sibling $6,800 when he said he lacked funds for suppliers. But there I was, shoeless on wet lawn, gripping a disposable dish like an unwelcome visitor. "I need it returned," I murmured. My sibling appeared confused. "What? The packet?" I pointed to the tiny note I'd put in the present container before. "It's no longer yours." He scowled, puzzled, until I stretched into the container, grabbed the packet with my script, and disregarded the sudden intake from a wedding attendant. I unsealed it, extracted the payment slip, and tore it into 2, then 4, then 8 pieces. Quiet descended, not an ordinary hush, but a dense, awkward one that no joke could shatter. "Spirits exploited for funds don't offer presents," I stated, flinging the torn bits into a trash can. My sibling gazed as if I'd hit him. Perhaps I did. They started begging. His partner's mom muttered something. My mother hurried out from the tent, eyes expanded, as if she'd just remembered I was real. I offered a weak grin, pivoted, and departed. At my place, I launched the payment app, located the joint ceremony cost section, $6,800 yet unsettled, connected to my profile. I pressed a few keys, cleared it to nothing, then restricted every linked contact. By dawn, my device was overwhelmed. 39 messages left, 112 messages, and a ring from a digit I hadn't viewed in ages, one I believed was lost forever. That's when it hit me. This wasn't merely about a ceremony. It never had been. Ceremonies are meant to bond kin, but ours tore the mask away. 3 weeks prior to the occasion, Aiden had rung, requesting a fast assist until the food provider's last sum was processed. "I'll reimburse you post-vacation," he mentioned. I transferred $3,500 in 10 minutes. 3 days after, Mother contacted, her speech practiced, soft. "I dislike requesting, but your father's outfit, he's gained size, doesn't feel confident. We located a designer one that suits, but we wouldn't anticipate." I stopped her, said I'd manage it. That was $1,400. The following week, Carla, Aiden's betrothed, messaged, "The image taker's bundle skips aerial views. Could you assist? We'd appreciate it so much." No greeting, just a transfer request with symbols. I confirmed it without words because that's who I was, the solver, the one supporting their ideal scenes from the background. Until I discovered I wasn't included in the practice meal. I dialed Aiden, inquiring lightly what hours the meal next Friday. He chuckled, a genuine chuckle. "Oh, you're not attending. It's only the wedding team and immediate kin." "The roster is limited. I'm immediate kin," I replied, quiet. "Then don't make it personal. We didn't want complications." He ended the line. I didn't terminate the call. He did. That's when it began falling apart. I reviewed my transfer records. $6,800 across 5 months, marked supplier advance, urgent donation. Then I accessed a spreadsheet Carla distributed in March for ceremony coordination. The access still functioned. One section caught my eye, omitted attendees. In slot B12 next to my name, somebody noted doesn't match the vibe, might cause issues. Better excluded from key activities. Place outside tent. I was shocked. I'd helped shape the vibe they claimed I didn't suit. But more severe was ahead. The next dawn, a social media mention appeared from Carla. An image of Aiden, the wedding team, both guardians, beaming around a sleek wood surface at their commitment breakfast. Description: "With those who count the most, our core, our eternal team." I wasn't in the shot or referenced. A relative remarked, "Didn't he have another sibling?" Carla responded, "You're correct. Some aid from afar, others don't aid whatsoever." That received 19 approvals. That evening I launched the computer I'd repaired for Aiden 2 years back. He never canceled my distant entry. A careless error. In 20 minutes, I was inside, browsing messages, documents, and discussions tagged Ceremony 25. I discovered images, captures, and a compressed file named Reserve Strategy. It contained backup placement guides, attendee rosters, and a shelter layout. Beside my name, direct to grass zone, provide disposable dish. No shelter entry. No reason. Then I located a messaging thread between Aiden, Carla, and pals. One note, he's not ideal for pictures. Another, we care for him, but his energy seems mismatched. Somebody added, I feel guilty. He covered half the another completed dessert. Somebody questioned, should we allow him to slice it? Response, no. He's got melancholic relative energy. It'll spoil the vibe. The harshest, he's alone and strange. What's he going to do, shame us forever? That's when I realized they didn't simply overlook me. They exploited me. I was a mobile bank. I didn't weep or yell. I chose to regain command. Then arrived the message recording. My father's tone, firm and rough. You must understand this. This kin is progressing. If you're not assisting, you're not in the images. I heard it twice, then jotted in my journal, monetary spirits don't deliver presents. I knew I wasn't attending that ceremony to pretend joy or applaud courteously. I'd revise their narrative minus me. The ceremony was scheduled for 3 p.m. I showed up at 10:37. The location was covered in trickery. Plants on borrowed lights, a massive pale tent, a flower arranger threading stems onto a bow I'd supported. A person in dark transported the dessert I'd financed. Near the rear, a lady with an earpiece and board. Kayla, the organizer, was issuing commands. I neared her. Hello, I'm the monetary supporter for 60% of this gathering. We must discuss. She seemed baffled. I gave her a binder with each bill, proof, and transaction log in my name. She glanced through it quietly. Then I declared I'm pulling my backing. This gathering no longer has my consent. All suppliers linked to my name must cease immediately. Her expression drained. You can't simply, I cut in. I can, and I have. In 30 minutes, the audio was silenced. The illumination team powered down. The dessert was returned to the vehicle. The food providers extinguished their fires. The music selector stored gear. The $15,500 tent remained quiet, vacant, like a platform for a halted performance. At 12:11 p.m., I stepped in via a lateral opening, dressed in a dark outfit, holding 3 present containers wrapped in pale with metallic bows. One for my sibling, one for my guardians, one for the due spot. I spotted Aiden near the water feature, perspiring through his formal wear, grasping his device. He charged over, whispering harshly, "What have you done?" I locked eyes. I safeguarded what's mine and recovered what I contributed. He barked, "You're crazy. You can't ruin." I halted him. This isn't ruin, it's reality. I wasn't welcome to your ceremony, only my funds were, so I retrieved them. When he grabbed for a container, I retreated. Don't, I said firmly, unwrap it at the platform. Attendees were observing, the food providers absent, lights out, audio set up and active. Carla's tone, high and frantic, resounded, "Where's the dessert?" I executed my last action, setting the 3 containers on the primary spots, pale fabric, one after another. Since they hadn't included me on the attendee roster, I delivered something superior. Resolution. All gazes were on me. My mother's expression contorted in surprise and anger. My father appeared prepared to strike. I pivoted and signaled to the individual next to me. "This is Connor, certified lawyer here to present documents." Connor unsealed his case and recited, "As of this morning, all shared monetary profiles involving your full name and Aiden, Jadden, and Grace, surname, are shut. Authority delegation is canceled. Joint signing privileges are ended. Entry to mutual resources, holdings, and borrowing options is terminated. Moreover, here's a legal claim concerning identity theft in a borrowing request submitted on date. Proof is included." That struck deeply. My dad charged, growling, "You conceited parasite." I didn't recoil. "You mean this?" I drew out my device, selected a recording, and raised it. Elderly monitoring video from a financial institution displayed my father pushing forms across a desk, my name and identification code on them. He'd taken my credentials from my former space to joint sign a venture debt I was unaware of. Quiet expanded like a blaze. Somebody inhaled sharply. Carla let go of her flowers. My mom whispered, "You don't understand what you're causing." I glanced at her and replied, "No, you didn't grasp who you were taking from." I faced Aiden, who remained still, hands clenched. "You didn't welcome me to your ceremony, but you welcomed my funds, my effort, my quiet." I just confirmed attendance to all 3. The audio setup blinked on momentarily, a worker checking the energy. I retreated, activated a message recording loud for everyone to catch. My father's tone, seasons old. You selected your path. We'll proceed without you. Don't plan to appear afterward. I raised the device. I'm simply obeying directives. Then I departed. Behind me, the ceremony collapsed. No tunes, no illumination, no meals. Their ideal kin mirage broke precisely on time. 5 weeks afterward, official mail came. A simple packet with an official mark. Inside, we verify the deceitful application of your identity in a monetary request by Jadden, surname on date. The matter is sent for legal action. You are absolved of all joint responsibility. My identity was pure, my father's wasn't. The individual who claimed I'd fail without him was now rejected by 2 institutions, under tax review, and listed in a national deceit matter. His profiles were locked, his deceptions revealed. The arbiter sanctioned my detachment as joint signer from the debt. That obligation was his solely now, rebounding to overwhelm him. But when one deceiver drops, another appears. A week following the decision, a message recording arrived from a hidden digit. My father's tone shaky. It wasn't only me. Your mother assisted. She delivered the forms. She was aware. I didn't respond. Not because I questioned him, but because I already understood. That day, a parcel came. No sender info. Just a storage stick and a message in my relative's script, the sibling my father had severed long ago. The message stated, I witnessed what you accomplished. This wasn't solely about the ceremony. They'd been scheming for years. Hear this. On the stick, a 2019 audio. My father's tone, arrogant. He's useful for money. That's why we retain him. Don't make him feel too vital if he discovers we're finished. Quiet, then my mother, he won't. He always returns, that's his nature. I remained motionless for an hour, not furious, not sorrowful, just finished. The kin disintegrated. Aiden never rearranged the ceremony. Carla departed him 2 weeks afterward, sharing a social media clip of her band on a ledge. Turns out the gem was counterfeit, like the kin. Aiden acted calm, sharing workout images and standard sayings. But nobody noticed. The location pursued him for agreement violation. Suppliers filed claims for unpaid sums. Last I learned, he was in a small unit over a smoke store, restricting feedback. My mother dispatched a printed message. We didn't grasp what your father did. We never intended to harm you. We're still kin. I scanned it once. Stored it under make-believe. That day, I was absolved. I shared a recording. No yelling, no alterations. Just me and my residents displaying every proof, capture, and record, plus ceremony clips. The containers, the disorder, the hush. I faced the lens. They utilized my identity, my funds, removed me from their image, so I reclaimed it all. The recording reached 3.4 million watches in 2 weeks. Thousands responded. My kin did this as well. This is why I severed ties. Not all wounds are visible. Some carry cost labels. Journalists, broadcasters, and money support organizations contacted. One proposed to finance a site, so I started No More Tents, an area for those handled like purses by kin. With 15,000 group participants, 6 helper attorneys, and a lively discussion in a month. My initial entry. You're not unappreciative for refusing. You're not self-centered for seeking calm. You're not an antagonist for leaving. One evening, securing my shared workspace for the site, my device sounded. A known digit. I allowed it to sound. Then a message from my relative. Your father's ticker is weakening. He fell yesterday. Your mom says he's requesting you. I gazed, then powered off my device. At my place, I poured a beverage, accessed the final item on my relative's stick, an image of me at 12, clutching an award, my dad beaming, palm on my arm. I believed it signified something. On the reverse, a message. Even then, he didn't realize we were exploiting him. I incinerated it in the hearth, observing it twist and darken. I launched my computer, released an entry. My kin instructed me 2 lessons. Lineage can dominate and quiet means devotion. I don't owe them either. 6 months afterward, I'd sealed that section. Ceremony, tribunal, messages, remorse. I relocated to a serene village with vast horizons, where nobody recognized me. I erased social profiles, professional networks, no more mentions from my mom for notice. I retained my position, site, venture, but me. I disappeared, and it felt amazing. Phony affection is noisy until you silence it. Month 1, my relative messaged daily. Month 2, Aiden rang from fresh digits. Month 3, my mom's message recording began with sobs, concluded with, you can't desert kin. That term, kin, like a holy link I had to bear to maintain their appearance. I uttered nothing, not from rage, but because I had none remaining. I overlooked Aiden's name some days off. One weekday, I went by a pastry shop, viewed a flawless multi-layer dessert in the display, and grinned. That's what they desired me to be. Attractive, practical, ornamental, not cherished. Last week at my preferred spot, scanning literature over dark brew, my device vibrated. 54 unanswered rings, 17 messages, 4 message recordings from unfamiliar digits. I didn't review them, just inverted the device and drank. Once their notes made me shake, believing I owed them a reply. Now, hush is my response, stronger than any yell. They don't know my location, that I altered my contact, that the individual they controlled with shame and compliments is vanished. I didn't just torch the link. I wiped the shore. At the spot I wrote in my volume, they managed my responses once. Now they don't even receive my hush. So what are your thoughts on this story? Do you agree with what happened? Or do you see it differently? Let us know your opinion in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. And if you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any of our upcoming stories. See you in the next one.